Good morning, everyone. I am so excited to be back with you on the innovation stage today. It is going to be an amazing day. I need you to tell me in the chat where you are calling in from, how you are feeling about day two. I would love to see some emojis flying, some of the GIFs. One day I'll actually learn how you say that. That day is not today. We have an incredible day planned for you today, and I'm going to start to kick us off because we just have so much goodness coming. I want to start actually today. Keep the answers coming, by the way, in the chat. Tell me what you're hoping to get out of the session today. Give us all the recaps, all the questions that are top of mind. You can keep that flowing this whole time. But I'm going to start actually by just giving a little shout out to one of our sponsors, Salesforce, the #1 AI CRM, where humans with agents drive customer success together with AI, data, and customer 360 apps. And if you want to learn how you can build relationships that drive change with Salesforce for nonprofits, we're going to give you a little CTA to click. And I'm going to show you a quick little video before I have the incredible honor of introducing our first speaker. I think that video is going to play.
The two most powerful words in the world that we know are, what if? And today, thousands of organizations are saying, what if? With the power to act on those words like never before. What if you could empower every employee with a limitless digital workforce? One that listens, learns, and acts all day, every day. Well, this isn't some far-fetched science fiction fantasy anymore. No, it's happening right now with AI from Salesforce. It's called Agentforce. Agentforce turns your vision into reality. Think about it, a future where every student, client, citizen, and customer experiences the best service possible. And your people? Well, now they're free to focus on the work that matters most. And all you have to do is bring your dream. Imagine that. What if?
I have got to say that I'm not complaining at all about getting to see Matthew McConaughey first thing in the morning. So love that. And I'm so excited to get to introduce Piper Sullivan. She is the Senior Product Marketing Manager at Salesforce.org, where she specializes in nonprofit technology solutions and strategic digital engagement. With over a decade of experience in digital marketing and community building, Piper supports nonprofit organizations in implementing data-driven strategies and AI tools that enhance impact. She has been a featured presenter at nonprofit and technology conferences and frequently contributes insights on responsible tech adoption in the social impact sector. Piper brings a human-centered, values-driven approach to helping mission-led teams innovate with clarity and purpose. Please join me in welcoming Piper to the stage. And Piper, I'll let you take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mallory. What a humbling introduction. Thank you so much for that. And also having Matthew McConaughey kick off your session can also be quite humbling, but I'm excited to be here with you today. As Mallory mentioned, I'm Piper Sullivan, Senior Product Marketing Manager here at Salesforce. I've been here for 6 years, and wow, has it changed in that time. But I'm excited to talk to you today about fundraising and AI and agents and all of those great things. So from meh to mighty, maximize your fundraising with agents. As we do, we always have a forward-looking statement. So we're going to talk about a bunch of cool things today. Just a reminder, if you're making purchasing decisions, to make them on currently available products. So with the legal out of the way, I want to say thank you so much. Again, it's a Salesforce thing, but one thing that I really, really appreciate about us and about you is just being here today, being committed to innovation, being committed to learning, and just taking the time out to be with us. Nonprofits are dealing with a lot, which we'll talk about soon, what we found in our research. But we just want to say thank you for being here, for the work that you do, for continuing and learning and growing with us, being a part of our community. So with that in mind, the community is one of my favorite parts about working with Salesforce and nonprofits. We have over 50,000 community members. And it's truly how some of our innovation happens. It's among the community. It's how nonprofits learn and grow together. And it's just a very vibrant place. So if you're not part of the nonprofit community at Salesforce, I highly recommend it. We've been committed to change makers for over 20 years, and it's almost difficult to keep this slide updated because we're engaging with more and more folks all the time. But we have over 60,000 nonprofit and higher education organizations using Salesforce, and we really have this history of innovation. Innovation has always been a key value for us. And we've been doing it for a while. So 26 years of innovation, and you can see there's just this legacy that was strengthened by these acquisitions. And this history positions Salesforce in particular very well for this rapidly changing, accelerating innovation that's happening in our space. And we are here in the agentic era. So you see 2024, Agentforce was launched, and now the agentic era is here. It is the most incredible technology that we have ever seen, and that says a lot because you look at these historic inflection points: personal computers, the internet, the cloud. You can think about like having digital devices in our hands, those kinds of things. But AI is the most transformative technology of our time. And I think we're going to talk today about what that looks like, particularly for fundraising and for nonprofits. And so we're moving from clicking to thinking. It's business via conversation, which I really love. I think conversations are happening all the time in our organizations between individuals, between donors, between employees, volunteers, those kinds of things. And so what I love about this is that it really kind of democratizes work. So in an evolution, this kind of accelerating innovation that's happening, there is this, and has always been, this learning curve of it's not so much the job that you do, but knowing how to use the tools that help you do the job that you do, or that kind of have become prolific in modern business. So tools that for-profit organizations are using, or tools that the expression of which our donors have been customized to or are accustomed to experiencing. AI helps us, and agents help us to democratize that experience so that we can create those experiences via conversations and not having to know where we need to click, what we need to do in order to make that happen. And so we're moving from apps and tabs, workflows, siloed data, something that comes up quite a bit, to conversations, real-time intelligence, and agentic orchestration. So being able to have technology that can do things for you and think through them. So our position is that soon there will be two kinds of organizations: those that take advantage of this shift and those that don't. Okay, so what does it mean what's the skinny on AI agents at nonprofits? We just released our Nonprofits Trends Report for 2025. It's the 7th edition. And so some of the data that I'm going to be sharing with you is from that Trends Report, but I encourage you to go and get it and kind of look through it yourself to just sort of benchmark yourself and your organization in terms of AI usage, those kinds of things. But there's a lot in there that can give us insights into where our industry is moving and kind of how AI and agents can help solve some of the biggest problems at nonprofits. So just kind of a lay of the land: 2 in 3 nonprofits are familiar with AI and agents. That's great news. 1 in 3 are very to extremely interested in using them. And only 12% have never heard of them. And we think that number is going to continue to decrease because it's everywhere. 54% are positive about AI and agents operating autonomously once the correct guardrails are in place. And that seems reasonable, right? We want to make sure that, safety and security being huge at Salesforce in terms of our belief system. So we want to make sure that that security is in place. And then US is sort of leading the way. So AI use is 71% at nonprofits in the US. 63 are open to AI. 95% are adopting digital channels. And then familiarity and interest in agents, 83% and 50% respectively. So another thing we've learned from the Nonprofit Trends Report is for the first time, and I want to say 3 years, we looked back at the our past trends reports, raising funds is the #1 challenge that nonprofits are facing. And so what we usually find is that raising funds, managing workload, and staff turnover are the top 3, and they kind of rotate year in and year out. But for the first time in about 3 years, as I mentioned, raising funds is the #1 challenge for nonprofits. And so it makes sense today to be talking at a fundraising.ai conference about fundraising and AI and how we can use agentic AI technology to help with fundraising and help us overcome some of the challenges that we're facing. So this is what we call, there's a divide between what donors expect and what nonprofits are sometimes able to provide. So we know that staff are overwhelmed. As I mentioned, top 3 is managing workload. And they're working on sometimes low value tasks. So I talked about before, knowing the right clicks, knowing what to do, being able to understand the technology that helps you do the ultimate work of furthering your mission. There is stalled productivity and fixed capacity. So based on the amount of staff that you have and the amount of hours that they're working, that capacity is fixed. And then we're using a lot of that capacity on low value tasks and not actually fundraising or doing the thing that an individual came to a nonprofit to do. On the flip side of that, donors are expecting more. They want to be able to donate more easily. They want those personalized donation experiences, and then they want that quick follow-up. So thank you notes almost immediately in inboxes. And not just thank you notes, but let's say a donor realizes they made a donation with the wrong card and they want to get a refund and redo it. Being able to kind of get that quick response is really helpful. And so we see that 41% of time is lost to low value, repetitive tasks. And of course, that's where agents come in. So AI is creating a whole new way to connect with donors. And we love this quote from the Chronicle of Philanthropy that says the biggest return on investment for AI for nonprofits could be the dividend of time. So then we ask ourselves, what if your fundraisers had no limit? What if humans and agents together could drive new levels of success? And so that means helping augment employees, scaling your team for a virtual workforce with digital agents. Imagine, being able that example I just used where a donor needs some support, wants to make a few changes with their donation, even something like, hey, I made a one-time donation. I actually meant for it to be recurring. Imagine they call your nonprofit at 5:30. They reach out to you at 7:15 at night when their kids have gone to bed and they're have time to focus on it. But your staff is out of office, right? It's overnight. So what if an agent could help with that and kind of give that donor an experience that is on their time and kind of is personalized to them? And then it frees your humans up to focus on those more important tasks. Speaking with donors, kind of cultivating those donors in a more human way. So improving the donor experience, intelligently responding to stakeholder needs with 24/7 support, as I mentioned, personalizing every donor interaction, and then boosting your organizational efficiency. So as I talked about before, that overwhelm, that staff turnover, being able to be more efficient in the work that you do so that the work of it all isn't also overwhelming. You kind of have another staff member, an agent kind of working alongside you right in the flow of your work to get those things done. So it's scalable, it's intelligent, and it kind of becomes a partner with you in your job. So it boosts that efficiency. And you can see where this begins to kind of solve those top 3 that keep coming up for nonprofits. And of course, we have Agentforce for Nonprofit Cloud. So help you connect with your stakeholders in a whole new way, supercharging staff productivity, harnessing predictive and generative AI, and then engaging with purpose-built nonprofit agents. So with agents spanning across programs, fundraising, and volunteers. And you can see the participant management agent, prospect research agent, and volunteer management agent coming just next month. So let's talk through some use cases, and there are plenty. These are just a few ideas, but so in the donor support and summaries, responding to donor information requests, producing donor summaries and donor proposals. So that's helping your major gift officers, for example. When you look at the major gift officer section, accelerating those fundraising outcomes. So producing those proposals, getting those acknowledgments written, set up very quickly. This is the generative AI. And then marketing. So being able to kind of work with an agent to help you set up a campaign. And think about our end of year campaigns, for example. Can you start with the goals in mind with an agent and say, here are the goals that we have? Having an agent that can look at all of your data and make recommendations on how to meet those goals. Evaluating and reviewing content creation. So kind of helping with the content creation from a generative side, but then also saying, based on the data that we've seen from this work, can we improve this in any way? So you can see where this sort of helps with efficiency. These examples kind of run the gamut of fundraising, from donor support and summaries, major gifts and acknowledgments, marketing, and really, really so much more. I think agents can really do whatever you can dream of. I'm trying to speak slowly. Like, is that really right? But there's so much that agents can do to help you. And I think if there's an idea that you have, like, hey, this would really create some efficiencies in our organization, or this, I always call it the blank page problem. If you sit in front of a blank page and you're kind of not sure where to start, agentic technology can really help move the needle there. And that's where some of the efficiency also gets introduced. So I wanted to share with you an example, Good 360. So this is an example of a nonprofit who is using an agent to help them match gifts in kind. So when there are disasters, being able to say, we have these donated items, and we know that there's a level of need for these donated items, and an agent helps make those matches happen. And particularly in times of disaster, it's really important that that happens quickly, so that folks can get the much needed resources that they need. And then finally, just wanted to give this, I wanted to leave you with this idea of what could be possible. Just a vision, kind of zoom out just a little bit and say, what could this look like? What could the flow of this work look like? So nonprofits and donors building meaningful relationships. Let's say a donor gives and they can manage their donation via self-service with an agent. The agent interaction feeds into predictive giving model. So now we can understand how we think this donor might give in the future. And that gives us insight into how we should engage with them. And so fundraisers could be potentially alerted in Slack or kind of whatever their channel of choice is. And then how they engage with that, the donor insights enable fundraisers and agents to take better action. So your fundraisers, along with your agents, can now look at all of these insights together, and you can even ask an agent, based on these insights, what do you think the next best step is? And the agent can help you determine that next best step, and then strengthen those relationships, which kind of fuels this circle of trust and giving with your donors. So that's kind of a future looking vision, and I wanted to leave you with some resources. Number one, the 2025 Nonprofit Trends Report, the data that you saw today comes from that. The AI for Good ebook, our donor-centric fundraising guide with AI, this one's really near and dear to me because I think I contributed to this myself, and I'm really excited about what's possible there. The AI readiness workbook. So this kind of helps you walk through this workbook to understand where are you in your own journey to AI. And then the example I shared today with Good 360, just a wonderful video of theirs, so you can kind of see how that's working. And with that, thank you so much for your time today. It was great to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Piper, for all of that wisdom and for everything you all are doing over at Salesforce. Do you have time for one question? I know there's going to be a lounge with Andrea as well. Should we send folks there, or do you have time for a question or two from the audience?
Yeah, let's try a question or two and see. But
Okay.
then yes, I think the lounge is the best, is probably the best place to go.
Okay, amazing. So for all of you, there will be a lounge right after this. And so you can navigate there. If you go to the reception area, you just look for the title of the lounge, and you'll be able to continue this conversation there. One of the questions, that just shows people kind of where they can go. One of the questions that was coming up for folks is trying to understand the difference a little bit between using an agent inside Salesforce and creating, for example, a custom GPT. And folks were starting to answer in terms of connection to your data. But can you just talk a little bit around like the real like value for creating these agents inside Salesforce in particular?
Yeah, I mean the great value there is that the agent is number one in a secure place, and can access your specific data. So if you're asking a chat GPT a question, or some of these other kind of agents online or AI online, it's sort of looking at all data everywhere and is giving you a general answer versus asking an agent inside your Salesforce environment a question and then being able to reference your specific data in a secure way. So that's probably the biggest difference and the biggest value there.
Amazing. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And I also see another question in there around folks asking how donors feel about things like this. And I really wanted to recommend that folks listen. Yesterday, Cherry and Koshi and Nathan Chappelle did an incredible session from a survey they've been doing every year to over 1,000 donors about how donors really feel about organizations using AI and technology. They have a 2024 report, and they were announcing the findings from their 2025 one yesterday in a session. So if you didn't catch that and you're really curious about kind of the use of tools like this and how your donors feel about it, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to look at that data. We'd love to get your feedback on this session. We'll share it with Piper as well. Piper, thank you so much for your time today. And then again, for folks who want to continue the conversation in the lounge, Andrea Schiller from Salesforce is going to be there so that you can continue to dive into this topic. You'll get to chat in a small group setting with Andrea, and connect with fellow attendees as well. And they'll be diving into the latest fundraising trends to hear more about how nonprofits are using agentic AI. So if that is for you, hope to see you over in the lounge. That's how you get there again. Everybody's been telling me how fun the lounge sessions are. So that is amazing. Coming up next, this is the beginning. This is just the beginning of day 2. And we are so grateful to get to kick it off with amazing folks like Piper. Here is what is coming next on all the different stages. Over on the Amplify stage, Empowered AI is still going on, building inclusive and responsible human first technology. Here on the innovation stage with me, we are doing the context advantage, the missing piece in nonprofit AI strategy. Super excited to be diving in to that with Sam Venable from Blackbaud. And then on the impact stage, Tammy Zonker is still going strong, making the case how to justify board and leadership investment in AI. So much good stuff happening at the same time. If you are sticking with me here on the innovation stage, I will see you in a quick moment when I get to introduce Sam. And I want to hear from you. Tell me in the chat, what are your big takeaways so far? How are you feeling day 2? Where's your energy at? We still have over 3,000 people are here with us this morning live. It's only 8:30 in the morning here in California, and we are off to a raging good start. So I'm so thrilled to be with all of you today. I'm going to bounce over into the backstage with Sam, and I'll be right back with all of you soon.